Welcome to this historic occasion for the city of Livonia. We are here today to dedicate our Civic Center Library in the name of Robert and Janet Bennett. This is a rare honor, but it is richly deserved for those two people who committed so much to giving so much to our city. As we begin, I'd like to recognize everyone who took the time to come here today and join in this celebration. We are pleased to have so many friends and family members of Bob and Janet here with us. We also have many elected officials and appointed commissioners in attendance. We appreciate everyone being here. In addition, I want to give special thanks to Charlie Mahoney and Gary DeShane. They helped solicit donations and individual businesses who wrote checks for the new signs to be built. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, and thank you, Gary, for your donors. Today we honor Robert and Janet for their countless efforts and service in Livonia, the LSO, Greenmead, Livonia Community Center, Livonia Foundation, and of course, this library. Several Livonia leaders are here today to help mark this day with a special tribute. First, we have a special commendation signed by the members of City Council and myself. It says in part that we congratulate the entire Bennett family on the dedication of the Robert and Janet Bennett Civic Center Library and bestow upon them the sincere and heartfelt appreciation of most of this community. Next, I'll turn this over to our Council President, Kathleen McIntyre.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, Bennett family, Mrs. Bennett, and distinguished guests. Dave Trott, Congressman Dave Trott was not able to be here today, but he asked us if he would please read a letter on his behalf. And it reads, Dear Livonia residents, it is my honor to welcome you to the unveiling of the newly named Robert and Janet Bennett Civic Library, dedicated to the late Mayor of Livonia, Robert Bennett, and his wife, Janet. Today, you'll hear many laudatory statements about Robert and Janet. Indeed, the impact they made on the community continues today. But rather than repeat the same list of accomplishments, I think it is important to recognize that without Robert and Janet and thousands like them, our nation would struggle. Selfless volunteerism is a critical component to a thriving community. It is clear that the Bennetts understood this and lived out this belief every day. Whether serving in elected office or spearheading volunteer efforts at Greenmead Historical Park, the Bennetts never sought praise or kudos, but they received them just the same. Today, this newly named library will serve as a visible thank you from the people of Livonia for the Bennetts' many years of selfless service. It is my hope that young people will visit the library, learn about the Bennett family, and as a result, spur a new generation to model the same civic-minded behavior. Indeed, our world is better because of the efforts of Robert and Janet Bennett. Sincerely, Dave Trott, Member of Congress. Thank you very
much. Next, Laura Cox.
Thank you. I just want to echo what was wonderfully touched by the congressman and just say how wonderful Livonia is, and it's basically because of people like you and Mayor Bennett that actually put their fingerprint on this wonderful community, and how lucky we are to have them, you know, make the path to where we are today. And it's just a nice way for us in the community to honor all the good deeds that they have done in your family, and we appreciate everything that you have done, and we're so proud to be a part of it in the way to acknowledge it. And so I have a resolution here, and it's signed by myself, Senator Colbeck. Penny's here for Senator Colbeck, the governor, and the lieutenant governor. So congratulations and thank you, and I'm glad to be a part of this celebration.
Next, Terri Marecki and Diane Gates.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Oh, excuse me, I've got a really hoarse voice. It's really annoying when you hear someone talking that sounds like this. But I'm Terri Marecki, the County Commissioner in Livonia, and this is Diane Webb, my colleague, who is a portion of Livonia as well. And we're delighted to be here. I've known many of you for a long time, Janet, and it's just an honor, and it's a long time coming. I'm thrilled we've come to this day where something so deserving. But just on a personal note, my parents came here when I was 6 months old and raised 5 kids. I raised 4 kids. Now my grandkids are here living in Livonia. And it's because of the things that you and Bob have done over the years. I mean, you're part of that whole group that's been instrumental in making this the best city in the state. And my story's not the only story. There's a lot of people that are generation after generation here. And a lot of our elected leaders that are leading the city grew up here, which I think's amazing when you talk to everybody. But, you know, another personal note, when I first got on city council, Bob Bennett called me up right away and said, I have to take you to breakfast because I have to tell you about roads. And I was like, ooh, that should be a fun one. And that was a great thing because I'm still heavily involved in roads. And his basic information that he gave me was I've used it for 15 years. So I really appreciate you, your family. And this is a resolution from the Wayne County Commission, and this will be in the record too, the Wayne County Commission voting on this. So, and I think Diane maybe wants to say a couple things.
I just want to say congratulations, Janet, and thank you. And your husband, Bob, was also a great guy, great friend of mine, worked for the telephone company like I did. We both came from the same, up the same management chain and through the same type of training. We were fast friends. Of course, I met him over the symphony. He was always plugging away for that symphony. As you know, it was very dear to his heart. And I read the very long list of all the things that you do. The font on your proclamation is small because we had to fit it all on one page. But so we really appreciate everything that you've both done for us. And this is a very overdue honor. And I'm proud to live in Livonia and utilize a library with your name on it. Thank you so much.
And next, I am introducing Toni Laporte, who is the library director here, who's been doing a great job. I think she's been director since about 2013. And I'm sure with all of you being here, I'm sure you're aware of all the programs that we have at this library. So Toni?
Welcome, everyone. I would like to thank you all for being here as well. And before I introduce the guests of honor today, I'd like to acknowledge a few former employees who are in the audience today. 29 years ago, on August 1st, 1988, these people were instrumental in getting this library off to such a good start. Civic Center's first city librarian, Michael Deller. Are you out there? Raise your hand. There he is. Civic Center's head of adult services, Betty Farhat. There she is. And I didn't see her come in, but she said she was going to be here. The head of children's services, Barbara Lewis. There you are, right in front. Okay, let's see. So now I'm going to start with the reason why we are all gathered here today. I'd like to introduce our guests of honor, Janet Bennett, Bob and Janet's daughter, Andrea Sullivan. Their second daughter, Lindsay Spence. Her husband, Roger, and their daughters, Natalie and Madeline. Their son, the Honorable Robert Bennett. And daughter, Joanna Travis, and children, Ian and Brooke. Judge Bennett and Andrea Sullivan will step up here and say a few words.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. A lot of familiar faces out here that I've seen since, I don't know, I was yay high to a grasshopper, as they say. Time does fly. Well, thanks for coming here. This is a great honor for the Bennett family. It's a particular special day for me because it acknowledges my mom's service to the city. For many years, my dad, as councilman and mayor, became the face of the projects they were involved in, and she didn't necessarily get the recognition she's due. So here it is. They were a good team, and she worked as hard on the various city projects as my dad did. So it's a great honor. Going back to 1984, my mom went to then Mayor Ed McNamara and suggested that they need a main library branch. And the mayor said, well, we don't have any funding for that, but I'll tell you what, if you get a millage proposal on the ballot, the city will support you. My mom and Trudy Pinto did just that. Not only did they get it on the ballot with their petition signatures, but the millage passed. And 2 years later, they broke ground on this building that we're all in today in 1986. So it just shows the dedication you have to the city, the betterment of the city, and your love of books and reading, and you now have a library in your name. I couldn't be prouder, and just a wonderful day.
Hello, thank you all for being here. It really is a pleasure to be here as well and see my parents honored in this way. Mom and Dad understood that it's very important for a city to be more than just addresses and a couple of malls. They always fostered opportunities for music, literature, history, and the arts to be part of the Livonia experience. Music Under the Stars, Greenmead, the Livonia Symphony, and the library were just a few of the opportunities they championed for this city. Of course, they had the help of many wonderful citizens and friends who felt the same way, and a beautiful community of friendship developed. When Mom and Dad moved to Livonia in 1959, they would never have dreamed that a building of this statue would be named for them. Thank you so much for that honor.
Today was a great day for the Livonia community to finally honor Robert and Janet Bennett by dedicating this library to them and renaming it in their names. I think a lot of people love the Bennetts and all that they've done for our community, and it's a well-deserved honor for them, I think.
My mom and dad spearheaded the main branch of the library project. My mom was really instrumental in getting that done and organizing the millage drive and getting the millage passed. My dad's involvement on the city council initially getting the planning done, the size of the building, all the architects together, and everything that ultimately ended up with what we have today. So they both worked really hard on getting this done. So that was particularly my mom's pet project.
Well, I think today was a wonderful opportunity for the community to say a very special thank you to two people who were very instrumental in so many things in the city. And this was a way to really recognize in a very special and lasting way their wonderful contributions to our city and to our civic life.
It means a lot. I mean, it's quite an honor. I'm so proud of my mom. Unfortunately, my dad has passed away. He didn't get to see this, but he would have been tickled about this because it included my mom. She got some of the recognition that she was due. So it's just a wonderful honor having their name on this wonderful building.